Hi guys, welcome back to another video. As you can see, it's off the jig. Let's do a quick walk around. So we've got some strut reinforcements here. Doors are gapped up to the wing. Scuttle's all good. Bonnet gaps are close but not quite there yet. Wing to door gapped up this side. So it's looking like a car again. So watch the rest of the video to see how we got it to this stage. Okay, first of all, I'm going to get stuck into repairing the dash and the scuttle panel. To do this, I need to remove both front wings to give me access to cut the scuttle panel away. Okay, so I've been peeling this back like the layers of an onion. It's a tricky little area, so I started by cutting the scuttle off. And then we've got this and this channel here, which is all part of the dash top. So cut that away. Got a little bit of grot around this vent. Cut the front part of the dash away. So I've got to make these bits, and that left us with this mess. So we've got an outer window frame here, we've got the inner window frame, and then underneath we've got this panel. So it should come down here all the way to the front, and then it kind of folds down and connects to behind the dash as well. So it's an absolute mess. And this is the good side. This is going to take a little while to repair, lots of pieces, pretty intricate. But yeah, let's get cracking. Okay, so here's the old piece cut away, and here's the new panel that I've made to replace it. Okay, the next bit I'm going to make is this bit. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so I've now repaired this piece. It's gone in all right. That's probably the easier of the two dash pieces. As you look up here, it's looking so much better now, much more solid. So I've just got this dash piece to do, and then we can do the scuttle. And that's this side pretty much done. Maybe a little bit here that I'm gonna have to put in as well, actually. But yeah, pretty much there. Okay, so we've got our scuttle and dash piece that I've made in place. Just fitted the scuttle bit to make sure this gap was good. Nice fitment around the wing, all nice and flush. So I think we're ready to weld all of this in. So that's the scuttle all repaired now, all around the window, all the dash done, front of the dash as well, and up inside this pillar. So now I've got to do exactly the same to the other side, which is actually worse, but yeah, pretty pleased with how this has come out. The fitment to the bonnet's nice. Could probably move the bonnet back very slightly just to tighten that up, but yeah, pretty pleased with that. Okay, as you can see, much of the same compared to the other side. It's a little bit worse. We've got to weld the inner quarter to the A post here, just down in here. Repair the inner frame, repair the outer frame, repair the scuttle, repair the dash top. This side we've got rust further up the pillar, so I've got to repair all of that. But I can do that once it's off the jig. I mean, I could do this once it's off the jig, but I'd just rather get it structurally sound before it all comes off. But yeah, I'm not too worried. I don't think it's going to move. And then if we look on the inside, I mean, it'll be much easier to make this part of the dash than it was the other side. There's a lot less shape involved. But yeah, let's get cracking. Okay, so that's 90% of the grot all cut out of here. Obviously the scuttle went earlier. There wasn't a lot of this panel left. Dash I've cut out front and back. And that's revealed this. I've had to cut the windscreen pillar up further up than I'd hoped to. Mainly because the inner, as you can see, is really rotten. And it's actually really thin here. So we're going to have to repair all of this. And then obviously that continues into this triangle panel here that we made for the other side. But not only that, this panel here as well is all peppered and pitted and rotten. So we're going to have to repair that before we can even think about putting on the outer windscreen frame, the dash pieces and the scuttle. So yeah, plenty for us to do here. And as if by magic, that's all repaired. We've had to repair the windscreen post higher up than we initially planned to, but actually it's come out quite nicely. Okay, so it's the front of the dash all repaired. Next up, I've got to make a piece to go in here, and most of it is missing. And there we go, that is the scuttle, dash top and windscreen pillar all repaired. Really pleased with how this has come out. We'll be test fitting the windscreen as part of our dry build process, but now this is all repaired, we can take the body off of the chassis jig. So I've just marked out a pattern for some rear braces for the rear cross member. Because we're going to be putting the full weight of the car on the rear cross member rather than using torsion bars, I thought I'd make a set of these just to strengthen it all up. There we go, that's those made. So I can now weld these in and our rear cross member will be nice and stiff. Right, big moment for the 912 now. It's ready to come off the jig. It's been on there for 400, maybe 450 hours now. Structurally solid. Really happy with how it's all gone. So yeah, let's get it off the jig now. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to weld in stiffeners to stiffen this up, just make sure it can't move around, because the whole weight of the rear of the car will now be on airbag shocks that will be here, and these weren't from factory designed to take the full weight of the car, so we're going to just weld in some gussets and stiffen it all up. Well, there we go, that's it all welded in. I can now turn my attention to some of the running gear for this car. So I'm going to start at the front of this pile of parts and work my way back. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the front torsion bars. And then these can go straight into a box. So we'll have one box for powder coating and one box for media blast only, which I'll then get zinc plated. So you notice as I strip everything down, I wipe all of the grease and oil off of the parts. This is to keep my blaster happy, otherwise I'll be getting a slap on the wrists. So here I'm just removing the old wheel bearings and grease seals from the front hubs. These hubs will be vapor blasted and left in a raw finish just like factory. So I found a snap bolt in one of the front struts. Usually I can just weld a nut to these and the heat will help remove the stud, but in this instance it just kept snapping, so I had to go old school and drill it out and re-tap it to M10. Similar story with the front track rods. They clearly hadn't been adjusted for many years and were completely seized solid, so plenty of heat and eventually they unwound. Thanks for sticking with these videos. I know it's part 11 on metalwork, which must be getting pretty dull now, but there's just been so much to do. The next video, I promise, is going to be a little bit different. So this engine behind me is a Porsche 914 motor. It's been fully built out to 2.4, 200 horsepower, which puts it in the same sort of region of a 911S from the same sort of period. So we've got to make custom mounts for this and get it mounted in with the 912 5-speed gearbox. We're going to be fitting all of the suspension, which we've had blasted, just waiting for a few more bits like wheel bearings and stuff like that. And then we'll be sending it off to have a full custom air ride kit made. Now, I think there's only a handful of early 911s on air ride. There's no off-the-shelf kit, so it's got to have custom struts made. And yeah, there's got a bunch of other interesting stuff happening with this build. So make sure you check back for the next video. Thanks for watching this one, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Cheers, guys.